Hi there and welcome to an extremely hot no-nonsense whiskey. I'm recording on the day of release today, which was a ridiculous idea. It's been the hottest day of the year so far, and with the studio lights in here, I am boiling. Sometimes I used to go out in the garden, but I haven't really got the equipment to do that right now, so I have to live with this, unfortunately. So if you see me a bit red-faced today, it's not because I've been on the drams, although technically speaking I have, but it is extremely hot. Anyway, moving on to this review. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode, we've got some Evan Williams bourbon. And this one here is the extra aged in oak. Whatever. Now, recently, I've been covering some exceptional whiskies from around the world. Scotland, all sorts of places. It's been really, really good stuff. I've been getting stuff through the post, which is really awesome. But every now and again, it's ideal to go back and try something that's just on the cheaper end of the spectrum and reset your palate and see what's what in there. Now, this one here, I was gifted it at Christmas. So I've had it for quite a while now. I haven't really had much of it, but it's been sat down here waiting to be reviewed. But I think you'll find as I go through this that actually it's a pretty tidy dram for its price. Something you need to talk about, in the UK, the price is not that great, to be honest. It's about £25 if you get the right price, but over here we get a 700ml bottle. And in the States, you're going to get at least a 750ml, but they do these in huge bottles as well. But you're going to get that for, less than $20, which is a massive, massive bargain. The other thing to note about this, that it isn't a typical bog standard bourbon, because you actually get 43% in this. That's pretty good. They could have gone 40% if they wanted to, but they didn't. 43%, we like that. So let's get into the glass and see what we've got, and if this is really worth the money that we're being asked to pay for it. Cheers. Oh, now, to be fair, it has got a really good nose on it. We know it's been aged for at least 4 years because it's a Kentucky straight bourbon, but they don't have to put the age statement on there. I've been kind of led to believe on the internet that it's between 4 to 5 years, so, obviously that's a 4 year. But don't expect there to be anything higher in this. There doesn't really need to be, I don't think. The aging after 4 years, the reason why it's 4 years is because it's pretty good after 4 years, right? That's actually just the reason why the rules are there, is to stop it from being substandard. But so on the nose, it's very typical bourbon flavours. You're getting some good vanillas there. Very oaky, as you might expect. For me, there's a back end of kind of cherry notes to it. But here's the weird thing. There's actually a little bit of kind of orangey citrus on the back end there as well, which is really interesting, really interesting. Now, the palate is pretty much the same, to be fair. Vanilla, oak, cherries, a little bit of orangey again. Really interesting that. It's quite drying on the back end, but I'm going to have another sip before I talk a bit more about that. Now, after you've got those flavours, it tends to be quite spicy. It's kind of a cinnamony spice. It's not quite peppery. I would say cinnamon more likely. Very oaky, very drying on the back end. But the finish just keeps on going. It's kind of medium. It's not like much really long. It's medium-y. But I have to say, it's a pretty tidy dram. Now, as I said earlier, the price in the UK isn't that great. There are cheaper options than this, but I think this is just ever so slightly a cut above the kind of bog standard bourbons that you can get, especially in the UK. You're kind of talking about your Aldi versions, your Clarks, which I think I've got over here somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Look, there's that. That's £17.50 and not that great. Whereas for a few quid more, up to about £25, you're getting a far superior bourbon, in my opinion. Just my opinion. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. This is the first Evan Williams that I've tried under that label. Obviously, Evan Williams and the distillery that makes it create quite a lot of different whiskies. I've tried some of them on the channel before. But hopefully I'm going to be trying through some of the range, like the white label and onwards. But let me know what you think about stuff like this. Personally, I like to have stuff like this around because it's tasty, it's cheap, you can put it on your shelf and you don't mind going for it. I don't know about you, but I have kind of expensive whiskey guilt. I want to drink it, but I don't want to keep tapping into it because when it's gone, and I'm not going to be able to afford that bottle again. Whereas I am going to be able to afford this bottle again. Easy drinking.